Hey, Kingdom people, it is Miss Taisha, your Kingdom Child Care coach. And I got something for us to talk about today. Something that I think we need to discuss. And I want to preface this by saying, y'all know I have been in the childcare industry for 25 years. I was a childcare owner for 17 years. And to know me is to know I stand on the same soapbox, 10 toes down. And that is that the childcare industry is the enemy of the parent. It is built on the parent being your op. And the video I'm about to show you is proof of that. And it is proof of how this dangerous rhetoric has been infiltrated into the childcare industry for a long time. And so let me show you the video.
I'm going to tell you something that's probably going to hurt your feelings, but I love you, okay? The parents are not your friends. I'm going to say it again because I want you to hear me. The parents are not your friends, okay? They cannot be trusted. All right.
This is a grown man wearing a dress, telling your kids that their parents can't be trusted.
Okay, so I do want to correct something because I have seen his content before. I don't think that he's talking to children. So I want to make that clear. Not that that really makes a big difference just to me, but he was talking to what I am probably about 98% sure it was a room full of administrators, childcare owners, teachers, because that's what he does his talks and stuff too, from what I can gather. So I will say I don't believe he was talking to children. He was talking to those who are supposed to be over your children and those who influence your children. And this is why it's a problem. This is why it's a problem. Um, because let me get this off the screen real quick. Okay, take that off. It's a problem because these are the people who parents are looking to trust them with their child. So the parent's supposed to trust you with their child, but you don't trust the parent. Let's break some things down. First and foremost, he says the parents are not your friends. I understand that. That I do believe that there's a boundary that should not be crossed. There's a boundary that you do have to have. There is a boundary of parent and child care owner, parent and teacher that has to be there. But then to say, okay, saying that the parent is not your friend, I believe that we have to change it from not being your friend to friendship isn't something that really is on the table for most people. But I become friends with my child care parents, but I also don't become friends with them like the first time, at first enrollment or the first day or the first year. It takes years, right? However, I think the mindset should be community. The mindset should be community. We are not. This is the thing that bothers me is that he's giving off the parents are not your friend as if keep them over there. You don't trust them. As he said, they're not to be trusted. And when you have that mindset from the jump, it is a very abrasive mindset. It is a very abrasive tone that you're going to give off that can never, ever, ever create community. At least not the way in the kingdom of God. The way that the kingdom child care owners should be creating community for their parents, the way that they should be creating community within their program. This abrasiveness is not going to help you to create that. It's always going to be as if you're waiting for the shoe to drop. You're waiting for that parent to say something, do something, so you can report them, or so thinking that they're going to report you or whatever. It always keeps everyone at arm's length. And that cannot create community. That is not how community is created, especially at the end when he says they are not to be trusted. Let me tell you something. If I cannot trust you, then I need to terminate our contract. If I cannot trust you, I need to terminate our enrollment. And I think as childcare owners, we have to understand the shoes that parents are walking in. We have to understand the shoes that these parents are walking in. I am of the belief that I want a parent to trust me as much as they can. The childcare industry has a bad rep, and parents are going to be untrusting of you, and rightfully so. I'm sorry. When you're watching the news and watching social media and you see all of these things about what childcare owners have done to these children, parents are going to be untrusting of you. And so I operate in the manner of I want every parent to trust me as much as they can trust me. But I know that with some parents, the most trust you're going to get is 99%. Then some parents, the most trust you're going to get is 76%. I understand that. That's never going to change how I'm going to interact with a parent. That's never going to be to where I'm not going to trust that parent. Now, if that parent begins to show me things that says that they are untrustworthy, then we're going to have a conversation, because in my program, I have to trust everybody as much as I'm able to trust. It's like how I ask them to trust me as much as they're able to trust. I have to trust everybody as much as I'm able to trust. And I can build community and still know that if this parent crosses a boundary, I have to conversate with them. Oh, did I say conversate? I don't even use that word. That is not a word. I have to converse with them, because that is a healthy community. In a healthy community, we have conversations about boundary crossing. We have conversations about, well, I didn't like it when you did this, or I didn't like it when you said that, or I didn't understand when you said that. And there's never accusations, because that's not how I approach my clients. So that's not how they approach me. We have to get to the point where we are creating community. And this is where the world, what I have noticed is those who have this type of mindset, they're not able to create genuine community. There's always that, I've seen another post, because what I tried to look for the full length of this video. I don't know if he pulled it. I don't know what happened, but I only could see clips. I only could find the clips that everybody was reposting. So I don't know if he took it down. I don't know what happened. But as I was searching for that other video, for the longer version of this video, I saw other videos. And in those videos, I'm going to say his manner of training, I would never train my staff this way. His manner of training, he's very in the matter of your coworkers are not your friends. I get that. But I'm of the belief of creating community. And in the manner of creating community, people can become friends. But when I go in with the mindset that my coworker is not my friend, they won't become my friend, which means I'm not going to be friendly. Mind you, I come in the context of Bible, of biblical. So I understand that my environment that I build is different than theirs, different than his, different than what he might be trying to do. I come in the context that I hire people who believe the same gospel that I believe. So when you're hiring people, and even when you're enrolling parents, you're enrolling people who have caught and understand the same values that you run your business by, the same values of the Bible. So that is my belief. I think that we have to get past this idea that the parent is the enemy. How can the parent be the enemy? How can I say They're not to be trusted. They have hired me to be a part of their community. They have hired me to be a part of their community for their most precious thing, nothing, for their most precious thing they have, which is their children. Their most precious thing that they have is their children. So how can I be so against them? Now, do not get me wrong. I know that there are parents out there who can operate as the op, but what I will never do is treat every parent like that from the jump. Treating parents like they're the opposition, like they're the enemy from the jump, and they haven't done anything. You go in your relationship, whether you like it or not, it is a relationship with a parent with the idea that these are your enemies in a way, whether you want to say it or not. That's the way that is the framing of it. You're believing that these parents want to, they're all these things, all these beliefs about parents. And when you go into it like that, you cannot create community. So maybe they have a different agenda than what I have. My agenda is to create community. My agenda is to create lasting relationships. That's my agenda. And I believe that should be the agenda of any kingdom childcare owner. If you're a Christian with the kingdom in mind, your impact is for kingdom impact. Your impact is for the family. So how can I have the family being my opposition when I want to impact the family? So that's how we as kingdom childcare owners have to be different. This rhetoric is dangerous. I'm not even going to go into the obvious things of him being a very feminine man dressed in what he's dressed in, a dress with heels and all of the feminine. And the look of him is grooming by children looking at him. It is grooming, period. I don't even need to talk about that because y'all already know. But what he's saying out of his mouth to these teachers is a very dangerous rhetoric for the childcare industry. It is very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. So y'all have any questions in the chat? Let me know. I had to jump on and talk about this because I am so tired of these things that are just normalcy in the childcare industry that should not be normal. If you're a Christian, I'm sorry. It's just, we have to not see the family as an issue. We have to not see the family as an issue. There's a lot of nuance in here. You don't treat every family from the jump like they can't be trusted. Excuse me. You don't do that. Excuse me. There's nuance to these things. Some parents are going to act a little bit different towards you because of the industry that we're in, period. There are some people that you have to prove to them your trustworthiness because of the industry made it so like that. The other childcare owners, when they pop in these children, spanking these children, get children getting drugs on their time. The industry is to not be trusted. You have to prove your trustworthiness to these parents. Y'all see, I get passionate about this stuff. I get passionate about this because it's of the enemy to have the idea that the family, that the parents are your opposition. Only the enemy is against the family. Only the enemy is against parents. Oh, that's the agenda of the enemy. So we got to call this stuff out, and we cannot come into agreement with it because of your feelings, because of your emotions, or even because of any experience that you ever had with a family. That particular family had that particular issue, and that particular family you could not trust because they did X, Y, and Z. Let me tell you something for me from the jump. If I cannot trust you in my business, you have to go. You have to go, whether you're a staff, whether you're a student, or whether you're a parent. If I got to start from the jump of not trusting you and we have an issue, then you have to go. If I can't ever win over your trust, right? I understand the building the relationship, you win over the trust of the parent. But if they're beginning to do things that makes it to where you can't do your job, or they absolutely do not trust you, then you have the choice to say, this isn't working. Because I don't want to be second guessed in my own business. I don't want to be, bashed in my own business. This just isn't working. So whatever those experiences are, kill it. That's a choice to stay in, to keep parents enrolled that you don't trust to that magnitude. So that's what I had to come on here to say, y'all. I hope that you guys can understand. I hope that this translates to you, that your parents should not be your opposition. And you shouldn't from the jump have the idea that they can't be trusted. Yes, have your boundaries, but understand that within community, you need trust in community. To create community, you need trust. You have your healthy boundaries, but they're not the opposition. Your boundary shouldn't be this thick, right? You stand firm on your boundaries, but everything shouldn't be, that's a whole nother topic where everything is a boundary. Everything, every single thing. Parents can't do nothing, can't say nothing. So, that's the end. If y'all don't have any more questions, I thank you guys for joining. I think YouTube is probably going to be my jam for going live, because it's just better than the other platforms from my brief experience. So thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Come on.